Influence here, and today's the day we get Menasor combined. So we have FansToys Menasor here, and this is everything that you need to combine it. Now, you know, combiners, this isn't like a traditional type of review until the end. Chapters in the description, so you know I'm going to show how to get everything combined into the combined mode, I should say, all the figures, and then combine them together and see what we got. And then I'll go over Menasor like a normal review. All right, so stay tuned.
Transformers reviews, tech and the news, whatever else I use as a muse. Hit subscribe, I appreciate the views. Influences interest on YouTube.
Figures sold separately. The only figure you get is Dead End. And you get this, which is the shoulder boxes for the toy mode.
Subscribe.
You get the arm pieces, so you can combine the arms. Actually going to do that in a second. Get this nice gun. And you do have a kind of spring-loaded handle. For what reason, I don't know, but it's cool. Maybe it'll be sturdier. You get this gigantic sword, which is very nice. Nice paint here. You got the pieces to clip on. You got a little spike in at the handle, and super chromed out. Got fingerprints on it, so chromed out you can see yourself. You get Blackjack, which I kind of wish they would have done like maybe have this transformed into something. I don't know if they could have done that, but I mean, it does transform into something. It's the chest plate and just a little car, so I guess that's cool. I would like maybe a little robot, but I don't know. Just me for the money. And you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 extra faces. Now these faces are for the toy model and the... All right, let me show 2 at a time. I'm not sure which is which. I just noticed that they are different. In my unboxing, initial unboxing, I was hoping that you could mix and match these. But it looks like you cannot. And they're slightly different sizes. Because I don't know which one I like. I like some of these, like this one I like. But I don't know if it's going to go on what I like, because I'm going to have a mixture of this guy in the end. I'm going to show both modes, but in the end, for my combined mode is going to be like a mixture between toy and cartoon, because that's how I remember it. You get the legs, of course, and the upper body, so that as well, which doubles as a extra trailer for Motor Master. I'm not going to get into that. I don't know, in a future video maybe, but I'm not sure. I'm definitely going to compare this guy to X-Transbots in a future video, and I'll compare him now, but I'll go deep in a future video with X-Transbots. We'll do this first. Take his guns out if they're in there. Man, that's why I forgot. That's why I don't put his guns in. They're pretty tight. Seems to be a theme. So now what you're going to do is you want to get this out of here like this, but there's pegs throughout there. So you just want to try to unpeg it as much as possible. Oh, take this off first, because this is pegged on. Spudger's gonna come in handy today. There we go. Yeah, there's a peg in here. And you can push right here on these sides, and it kind of pushes this out. Then you can have this go down. Now you have all of this. You can split these legs apart. Open up this, because you know in this mode it's like this, but bring this up Put that back down. Now you can pull this out because there's a peg in there, and then pull this up. Then you can pull this out here. Undo this peg right here, because then you can get this knee. This elbow. And you fold this in, and then you can close this back up like that. Now you're here with it. Same thing over here. You pull this off, unpeg this, and then pull this out of here. There's no flip. You don't have to worry about it. Just flip that in and flip that back together. So putting this in, again, thread this kind of through here. Not kind of. You do. Thread this through here. Then you can come around here and you're closer to what we need. Make sure this will come out like that, but you got to make sure it doesn't. It stays kind of straight. Like that. Then you can put these together. It should help you a little bit. So now this down here, it's this little piece. It should go in like that, and then there's some pegs here that it's gonna peg into. If it's down far enough, you can see how that's flush. Then you got this thing here. Bring that. Make sure the legs aren't, are right. These skirts here, make sure they're up. I didn't show that. And they kind of sit up here. They kind of hide this. And this will be out here like this, but it's flopping around. So it goes in like this, and this is where this should be. You have this straight. And also with that up, it gains access to these. You can see those things where you gotta put this down like that and wrap it around, and then it should peg in together on both sides. And there you go with that elbow joint. And there you are with the arm when we're ready for it. Now we're gonna do Motor Master. I need a spudger. Pull this down, open up these arms, flip these ports in. They're supposed to be flipped in, so I wanna get this ready for combine mode. This, and we have it like this. If you can tell, it's like laying face first. Make sure all this stuff, make sure this thing right here is down. Then you have these pieces right here that you want to pull out, and it kind of opens this up, but that's what you want. You don't want this to fall, but you can kind of move these up because they fit on there. And then you can move this out right here. When you move this out, like this. These panels in here are not connected to that, so you just take this panel off, and then you can move this out, and then you have it kind of like this. So let's put the hands in normal fashion, as we do. I haven't transformed this guy in so long. I kind of want to, but I don't. Put that up there like that. Put that up there like this. So now let's unlock the crotch here. Let's pull this crotch piece out. There we go. Watch out, because once you pull this off, it's gonna be like bloop, which is what you want, but not yet. Flip this backpack over right here. and it just sits there like that. So then what you do, well, we'll do it now. You want to pull this up, and then when it goes all the way back, it's going to sit like this. And this is going to help later on. But you see why you flip this backpack over, because then the legs can sit flush there. Now you just want to move these legs. So move them like this. So the cab is down. Want to move this, not at the thigh, but right here. So the back stuff is forward. Again, just the lower leg. You still want the thigh like this, because as you can probably tell, you see the hinges, how they're gonna fold up. So now you want to bring your piece in here, pull this down, flip this out right here. That's important. And then you can kind of see where it's gonna go. It's up in here like this. And what you're doing is you want this space, there's a space back here, and this right here where you want to, oh, I didn't bring that out. So pull this up, and there's a second piece that you want to undo, push out. You can see it right there. It's like a trap door. And what that's going to do is make this will fit in there. You can see. And then you close this around that peg right there. Then this goes up like this and will fit in here as well. Motormaster's head comes into this spot right here. And you can see how you gotta like adjust these things and put them in. Then you can put them in there like that. Now this folds up. Actually, you can kind of move that up still. This will fold up. Move this kind of out. I'm gonna try to get this piece on later to see, because it kind of supposed to secure everything. Not kind of, it is securing a lot. Here we are there, and again over here, this stuff is out of the way. And now you have to close all of this stuff. Have to close this around here, this around here, flip this tire. There's a peg in there that this goes into, but you gotta have this right. There we go. If you can see, I pushed a little piece in and then pushed this down, and it kind of went in together. I'm not sure if this is right. I think this got to be back here like that, push this down here, same, move this back like that. Then this should close in here. Up, make sure that's up. Put that down so it fits into this part right here. Push this down here. It should go into Motor Master right there. And then this fills in that gap. There's a clip right there that you want to make sure this grabs onto. There we go. Now it's more solid. Just that little clip made it more solid. I mean, not a little clip. So you have it here, here. I quite like the way this looks. It's pretty integrated. Move that down. And here we go. And gonna do here, undo this like that. It's gonna eventually be like that. And then separate. There's two tabs up here that is very hard. Let's put that back. Let me go this route. There we go. Much easier. If you got a spudger, much easier. You want to pull this out and pull this out. There's a second hinge, not hinge, but second little thing like that that should come out. There we go. So you get that out, and this should be down, which is the legs. And this came out prematurely, but you can do that now. I mean, what you gonna do? Then you pull these out. Pull these out. Then this goes down here. This you can undo. You have to do this again because it's the left arm. And you're gonna have it like this. I know the directions show you can pull this off, but it doesn't really matter. You can just stick that in there like that, and then put this around here. There's tabs and stuff that go. Like that. This right here, you want to, like I said, if it's not going, you want to make sure this is flush, which is the legs. That little spot where you can pull them down. You got that, got this side. And there you go, just like that. The legs aren't adjusted correctly. You want to adjust this so, well, pull that out, adjust this, pull this out too, both sides. And you want to, once you pull these things out, you should be able to pull them all the way out like that. And then you should be able to get this where you want it, where you need it. So you got to bend it like that so you can get room for the cars. Then you can put this back together. If you have it in the right spot, it should just go where you need it to go. You can kind of feel it, like move it up and down, and then you know where it's supposed to be. Same thing back here. Undo these, undo those, move it like that. How I figure it out, sometimes you don't have it in the right spot, so you just push this in and slide it. Let me try this side. Might be, there we go. So then you know you have it in the right spot. Then you can get this adjusted to where it needs to be. And that's how it should be. You should have space in there. So now coming down to these feet, there's a lever right here. If you see these screws, move that lever down so you can see the screw. Then you can move that out and it frees up the foot. Now you got to do some adjustments with this foot. It's not all the way correct. So once you do that, then you can pull this out of here, flip this up. There's a little spot, and then it stays in that groove there. And is where it should be. Again, over here, you can just pull this out. And there's a little spot. Where's the spot at? Let me see. Oh, wait. I think that's it. Oh, right here. But this is so you can move this. That's when we change it into the other mode. But I'm just trying to get the feet out now. Move that. Put that there. Then you can push this back. Now you just add the cars. There's a little spot to grab it. So pull that out. Get all this off of here. Pull that out. That wasn't bad. Because when you pull this out, it gives you leaning forward room. So then you can stick this in there and you can lean this kind of forward if this is out enough. Yeah, there we go. You can kind of lean it forward and get that underneath better. And then it goes around there like that. Then you can move this in. And on my wide rider, I had these things out. So make sure they're in all the way. I think they're supposed to be in anyway to see more of the, let me make sure this one's in. Because I think that was blocking a little bit of where it should go. Yeah, it was. Because it's too far up. So once you do that, then all of this fits exactly right. Then you lock it down here. Push this back up, and there he is. Breakdown, similar. He's a little bit easier. So you want to pull this piece here up. It's already up on mine. It's usually down like that, but I had it up. And you can kind of push it up there. On mine, it was little pieces here that were out that I had to rotate. You just move this out, and my pieces were out like this. I don't know if you can see that, but I rotated them in and then closed it. It makes for a better space for it to fit, and now it fits just great and right where it should. And then you're supposed to clamp this kind of around. It's hard. There we go. As long as it's down all the way, you push that, and that's what really secures this. It's a little lip here, but there's a little give until you pull that. And there he is with him on his legs, and he's feeling pretty hefty. So you can put it on there like this. So getting there, let's get these arms on. So we got this guy. It has his waist right here is going to slide into, see if I can show it. I don't like that this won't stay, but it's going to slide into this piece down here. It's a little rail, goes in there as you're pushing everything else on. Let me see if I can show it like this. So that's where you want that. And it's kind of easier if you put it on like this, and then you move all this up and insert that on to there. There we go. Man, In person, this thing is right. Now, make sure these things are open. And there's a little latch here. If it's not up, make sure that's up. You put this here. You know you got it right because this will go into a little groove in there. And also, these tabs is going to tab on there. So, you know exactly what you're doing. Then you can move this down over top of it. And then you can tab these together. So, if they fit, you know you have it exactly where you need it. And these should fit too. They fit right over. Man, oh man. I think it's not worth that weight, but it definitely doesn't disappoint. And I wasn't really that excited to get it, but having it in hand, it looks very nice. Very, very good. Way better than, and again, everybody says that, but it does. It looks way better than it did on any video that I've seen. So I'm sure it looks better in person than my video as well. So let's do some comparisons. Compare the two. We got X-Trans bots here and try to get it in a stable position. It's not the greatest standing up. And there's the two. I mean, they look similar, but FansToys is definitely looking way better. I like the slim line of the arms on FansToys, the way they integrated it. This is good for what it is, and I like the way they integrated it too, but it's just like thick. But if you like the thicker arms, that's good for you. Legs are pretty similar. I mean, it's pretty similarly look, but I just think the proportions over here I like better. The legs look skinny to me on video, but not in person. They look fine. Like I said, the proportions are great. I love that his arms make up the squares on his shoulder, and I'll turn this into the toy mode in a minute. So there was one piece. It's this piece from Blackjack. I think you can store this piece in Blackjack. I'm not sure, but that's for the toy mode. I guess you can just put it in there. It may be a way to store it correctly, but for now, I just put it in there and it's fine. It stays. I'll show the toy in a minute. And I think I'm done this comparison. And here he is compared next to Superion. Superion's in a pose, so you're not getting like true height. But even in the pose, he's about the same size as Menasor. So I gotta get your boy on the back better. So I mean, straight up and down, they're similar. Head on, Superion is a little bit taller. Doesn't bother me though. So head goes down about that much. This is like straight. It goes up a lot because it's on this hinge, which you can use the hinge to go up, but it only goes up and down a tiny bit. Like you can see, straight on, down. I love the painted eyes. They do have a light up feature. I don't have any batteries for it. It doesn't matter to me. If you got some light, you can see the eyes. They almost look like they're lit up in person, but it's just paint. So that's good. You spin this 360, no side to side. Arm, have an arm joint that goes up about that much. It's blocked by this, and it's probably going to be more so when I put the other things on. So unfortunately, you got that. It is ratcheted, so you have 360 ratchet, which is a tight ratchet. You have an elbow, which gets you 90 degrees. You have hands, spin around on ratchets as well. You get the hand out like that, and no forward. You got a thumb that folds in like this on a hinge, and it has 2 knuckles. You got fingers individually screwed on, which is what I like to see, so they don't come off. And they're on hinges, so they all articulate in by themselves. They articulate out in like this, so you can get them spread apart and have them how you want them. And they also have all knuckles that you and I would have. Bicep swivel right here. Cool. Waist. Waist does swivel about this much. I'm trying to see if there's an ab crunch. There is an ab crunch. It is super tight. It's at this joint, of course, because this is the connection I took off, and it is just a tiny ab crunch. And I'm assuming with the ab crunch, oh no, this is as far as you get on the waist, so it doesn't have anything to do with the backpack. So yeah, that's, I mean, for a cabiner, and I'm not giving excuses, I'm just saying, like, for a cabiner, that's pretty spot on. Would we want more? Yeah, but I think most cabiners give you about that. You can lift these skirts up. You can lift the side skirts up, and the back skirts go up as well. See all of that. Then you can see that hefty joint in there. See if we can get the splits. I do love how put together this thing is. Like, nothing's fell off. I'm hoping I don't jinx it. But it can get the splits, however it does fail. I don't know what application you would need this to stay in, but you can see that it can get there. And it has ratchets out, which I love. Then you have back and hurdles. So you got a drop down that lets you get, oh, let me see if I can use that drop down to get farther back. Nah, not really. Only goes one direction. So you can get the feet way out, and it holds pretty well. It's a pretty tight joint. It's even hard to maneuver a little because it's so tight, but I'd rather that than be loose and not standing up. Knee joint, get 90 degrees. Uh-oh, that end fell off, so there I go. So you get 90 degrees, and there's so much this came out, and that's what keeps all this together, so that's why he came off. Manipulating this is a beast. I ain't gonna lie about that. So the feet, had the feet. You get a rocker about that much. You can't get down. You can if you open this and you want some poses, but it's a flimsy foot, and that happens. This together, I'll turn it around. So you just take this piece out, this piece here. You want to lift this up. You can take the face off, it just comes off, and that makes this easier to lift up. So you lift that up, you move this around back to the back. You move these ears, they hinge to the front, and you can move it back down into the front. Now this piece you can put in the back here just to fill it in, and then you take one of the other faces, because this face doesn't fit. Like I was saying earlier, you have the cartoon version that has the slot in the bottom, and then the toy version has the slot up and down right in the middle. So that's, I like this face right here. This yelling face is cool. Now you're bringing this stuff back in. So you had Blackjack, you just move these up. This is where they were when I got it, but like I said, this is the toy version now. And I'm gonna be mixing and matching because my memory is just kind of mixed together with both. I always remembered some of the aspects of the toy, some of the aspects of the show. You put this on here, which was on earlier. Then you take Blackjack here, you fold this around, and you want to pull this out like that, and then you want to push this, these two sides up like that, and they're pretty hard like that. Just push it all the way up, and then this can fold around and go right there like that. And now this just sticks on right here. So you fold his wheels in too. Forgot to show that. Kind of like this. I do like this head a lot. I'd rather have the other horns. Then you bring this out. You just move this out. Tab it in there like this. Move this out like this. Tab it in there like this. Get this off of here. And then you bring this around. Let me put the arms down because it has to. Now for the legs down, and then this will come out easy. Now while you have that, you want to put this. There's a hinge, a double hinge, so you want it back farther because you want all of this to be available. Now you want to flip this in, and like before, open this up, open this up. So now you're moving this forward. You should be able to close that. Again, do the same thing over here. We're going to lock this in place in a minute. I don't know if you can do it here, but also you can flip this up, and then you can flip these side panels up. Sure. So let me do this so it doesn't fall. So again, over here, you do the same thing. Unplug it, shift that to the front. Then you should be able to plug it in. Similarly, open this up here, and you open these down here. Or, well, you want to get this unlocked, which is the thing over here. Then you can do the same thing. Alrighty. I'm not cutting that out. For here, you got to move this piece out. I forgot. I was trying to do it without, and then you move it back in. Then you can move this piece back in to lock it. Let me get all that stuff together. But I can say to his credit, I just threw this thing across the room basically, and it's still intact. And there's a little couple things are out of place, but for the most part, it's intact. Yeah, probably the best way to do this is to leave the top off or have it off already. This needs to be opened again. because it's not opened. So of course this goes this forward. So you put this in here. There's a little spot for it right there. And you kind of get this over top. And you know you have this right because the tailpipes will be in these little holes. And it's also some tabs right there. Then you can close this. Kind of locks. And I do like that. It looks like it's thicker. And then you lock this. I almost forgot. Lock that back and move this up right there. Good to go. Good to go. Over here is similar. Pull this out though. Again, you have all of that stuff right here. And then you can lock this when it's down, right? Lock that back in. Toy mode. Looks great. Looks wonderful. I'm going to have it probably in this mode. I may take this off. Maybe switch the head around. I'm not sure. But I do like this head. Maybe just take this off. I don't know. I don't like the collar, but it kind of grew on me in the last 10 minutes. I could say this figure is really great. I know people are like, is it worth the wait? Is it worth the wait? I mean, the wait was the wait. Is anything worth waiting that long for? It's up to you. I mean, we waited and we got it. So there is. That's not excusing the wait. That's not excusing them. But at the same time, I don't know how you can put a wait time like worth on something. I don't think anything's worth waiting that long. We know why they messed up, had to redesign it, so it took a long behind time. And I think that's some of the reason why Dead End is not as good as the rest of the robots either, because they just were trying to get this out. They were probably tired of the fans. Not saying that we should have waited longer, because I'm fine with Dead End in this mode. Again, he looks way better in person. That's always said about Mad figures, but it's the truth. You can look at figures all you want on video, but in person it's just something different about it. It looks great. I'm gonna put it in my space and see what it looks like. Like I said, I may just leave the collar on. If I get tired of the collar, then I might turn it, take it off. But if you watch this long video, I know it's a long one, I thank you for joining me.
Life ain't no. As long as you're alive, you can give another try and take it real high if you want it.